are hot. So don't say anything too disrespectful.
Baba Booey.
We have a limit over here. And we got banned.
The limit was reached.
The limit was reached. It was reached
didn't even
very
know.
quickly, very abruptly. There was nothing that could be done. Yeah, so we're picking up right off of last time. Let me refresh real quick. Last time you guys ventured back to the city of Trest, looking to hopefully make some allies within the Trestian Archons, and the Caesarean Archons, in which to hopefully gain access to one of their teleport circles. I believe that was it, or a teleport circle chain code, for lack of better terms. That's pretty much what we've been calling it this whole time. Chain close, a series of glyph runes to access one within a different area. You guys went and played at a bar, got yourself dressed, began acting as the emissaries of Travash that you have been playing as for the little bit. You finally put off the adventure gear, got dressed, and chose to attend a little meeting between the Archons of Trest and the Archons of the Caesarean Mountains. It was hosted by the Governor Elias of Trest, and was a meeting between Lord Commander Veer of the Archons of the Caesarean Mountains and Lord Commander Elijah of the Trestian Archons. The two are we're seeing border disputes as the Trestian Archons are the Caesarean Archons are beginning to push into the old Trestian territory as their mercenary work has expanded, while the Trestian Archons are beginning to push more southwards within the Shattered Territories. The two sides are concerned about potential border disputes, as they have not gotten along in the past. You guys are an embassy belonging to the Caesarean Mountains. Crowds have gathered outside. Looks like they're being kept in check by the Trestian Archons. And we ended as Veer entered and took her seat, and Elijah took his place. Any questions?
It sounds about right.
Was there a little bit of a conversation between the people yet, or have we not had that?
We have not had any actual conversation as the stream.
And there was a sword or a dagger or
yes, as
some kind of weapon that.
As Veer had entered the room, on her hip she bore the blade of Trest, a blade belonging to the Duchess of Trest for how long before she was slain during the War of the Shattered Territories.
Yeah, we had some kind of tense introductions, but that's about it. I remember right.
And then there's this sword is. Can you describe it for us? Can you tell us what it looks like?
Yeah, so this blade is thicker than a rapier, but not too thick. It looks very light within its scabbard. The scabbard is a blue, dyed blue leather with looks like bronze struts throughout it. Looks like it has been spruced up. It looks like it's very much for show. The handle has filigree designs on it that's etched through the scabbard. But it has not been drawn, so it's hard to tell what the blade actually looks like.
So she appears to be ceremonially armed. Is Lord Elijah also armed?
Yes, so when he sat down, he took It looked like a broadsword off his back and set it next to the table. His looks very rough. His does not look ceremonially designed. It is not as fancy as Veer's. What you can see is a base leather scabbard with some sort of similar iron struts to hold it together, and then the blade itself looks very functional.
He came armed for combat.
Does his demeanor and appearance kind of reflect the sword? Is he himself kind of like a utility, tough, no nonsense kind of appearance?
Based on his armor's design, which is very much close to the model that we have there, where he took his helmet off. He has got shorter hair, cut short for his helmet. He's very much he looks older, seems to be frustrated by how he holds his face. Kind of grizzled, but I wouldn't say he looks simple. Whereas his blade is very functional, it seems like the clothing that he's wearing blends that functionality with court appearance. It's something that you might see like an honor guard wear, where it's very much functional armor, but it's slightly designed a little bit. His seems to be beaten up quite a bit, whereas her armor seems completely intact, completely meticulously maintained. Oh, did I lose you guys?
No, I'm just thinking of any other questions to set the stage. And it seems like Elijah is taking charge of this discussion.
So that was Elijah, the archon. Elias the noble. He seems to be dressed not in any military uniform. He seems to have a gold necklace bearing the symbol of trust. Fine court clothing. Very much a civilian. He does not bear a weapon. As each side kind of gives each other a stare down real quick as they settle in, he does stand up and says, "Of course, I would like to thank both of you for agreeing to meet here. I understand that it is a long distance traveled for our friends in the southern continent." And at that point, you kind of see Veer kind of give him a look. Can I get a perception check?
All or
somebody?
one?
Give me all.
All right.
I'm very perceptive.
Okay.
Wanderer likes their weaponry.
Yeah, you guys sit down and you notice as he says that her glare, it's almost a insulted glare. As you guys would know, technically the Caesarean Mountains are on the western continent. But as soon as she kind of gives him, he kind of looks and doesn't correct himself, just carries on. We understand the travel has been difficult, going through areas that you may not have been able to fly through. And I would, of course, like to thank our commander here for taking the time out of his day to meet with you. Of course, I would like to introduce these people, these friendly individuals. They come from the Travashian government. They felt like their skill sets could be useful to us here. This is Emissary Zook, Ambassador Zook.
Yes. I'll stand up and tip my hat and bow courteously.
And his coterie. Temerius Godstone, and one they call Wanderer.
Like tip of the head, appropriate.
I'll give a slight bow as well.
Now, I believe there has been disagreements regarding both of your expansions. We've gotten word that the Trestian Archons are pushing southward towards the middle of the Shattered Territories, while Vir, your Archons are pushing northward into the old homeland of Trest. Unfortunately, being a man of Trest myself, I do not find myself in the position to give you both a fair look at this, which is the reason we asked our Travashian friends here. I believe they have been briefed on it.
We have. And what Veer would you like to bring to this discussion?
Veer kind of looks to you and says, "Oh, well, of course we're pushing into the Trestian territory. Business in the Shutrana is good. Our numbers have swelled, and we feel it's time for us to stretch our wings, so to speak. There isn't too much business in the southern continent, and the warlords of Sutrana, while difficult, are manageable." Tricks. Can I get an insight check?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You, as you kind of asked your question, as you kind of got your response from Veer, she does not seem to have any deceit, but as you're talking to her, you realize that you guys were never briefed as heads of this meeting.
That's right. We are merely acting as if we know what's going on. We're trying to probe a little bit to build relationships here so that we can get what we want, but also if there is something that we can do here,
Specifically,
keep peace and
specifically, you've seen this kind of play before. And it's not a play by Veer, it's not a play by Elijah, it's a play by Elias. You have extensive knowledge of court
Right.
events. You would know these kind of meetings. You would know what kind of happens here and kind of how they progress. This is a trap that's usually played to embarrass a country.
Yeah, so I'm going to make sure that we give equal measure to both to tell their part, right?
Mhm.
To give their opportunity to find out what they want, right? And in any negotiation, we first and foremost need to know what they want and what's brought them here, why they're willing to even talk.
Yeah. So yeah, as you asked Veer what they were doing pushing into Trest, correct? They kind of
Yes.
answered that. So go ahead and carry forward. It looks like you got an answer there.
Yes, Elijah, what brings you to the table?
Our forces are pushing into the Shattered Territories. We're approaching Bronland. And he kind of looks to Veer. I understand that area is not agreeable to the Archons of the Caesarean Mountains. Would you agree that we can gather the resources that lay on that field.
I'm going to inject just momentarily. I'll hold up a finger. Please, I have somebody here that can keep track of the things that we are going to be discussing, so we make sure that we cover all items. Wanderer, could you take notes here? Make sure that we don't miss anything, that we cover all topics. I don't want Elias to be the guy forgetting, in quotes, things.
I shall take notes as need be.
Cool.
I'm going to also put my sword scabbard down next to the table and pull out my notebook.
You
Pulls
stop
quill
this,
out of
and
nowhere.
you. I mean, you guys got pretty decent perception checks, so all of you guys would be noticing. Well, maybe Wanderer isn't noticing as much because he's focused on his note taking. It seems like. When he brings up Bronland, you can see Veer kind of shift a little bit. She seems uncomfortable.
Let's Zook will cue in on that, and he's gonna address it. He'll say, "Veer, what's your case for Bronland?"
Bronland is history. Bronland is... Well, Elijah, would you call it your greatest disappointment or your greatest victory?
Oh no, here we go.
And he sells and goes, "What are you insinuating, Commander?" You led the force.
Please.
You led the attack on Bronland. I believe it was you that finished off the king and the prince. I believe it was your men that finished off the forces of the Federation of Agathane and swept the Galvan back. I'm just saying. Would you call that your victory or your shame? I just want to know as you push in, I want to know how you address your men. At this point, you see... can I get another insight check from everybody? Wanderer's over here taking notes. He's like word for word.
I love how it keeps going. I have the curse of rolling off nat 20 to nat 1.
You're sitting there taking notes, so you don't notice as he shifts in. You can see him kind of steady himself, trying to like make himself stoic. We did what we were ordered to do. I mean, I wasn't the one that watched our queen die. I wasn't the one that sauntered in here with her sword. I would say that Bronland was a tragedy, what occurred. One that we had a choice. Oh, no, choice was not what we had. We had a duty. A duty that was beyond choice, and we did it. Just as you did. Difference is, when my men died on those fields, they stayed dead. Trix, you notice she shifts very visibly. And she unbuckles the blade and sets it next to the table. Almost like pounding it. She's starting to get frustrated.
Yeah, she tried to make him rise to the bait, and he really didn't. He diverted.
I think back to, and she goes, I think back to our previous discussion before we pulled off topic. I think in the I think in the larger I'm sorry, in the I think we should avoid Bronland. I think your forces should go around. You might find Archon equipment there, but it'll be no good to you. It'll have been rusted. It would have been damaged. Any of the Archons that fell, I mean, they've been buried and dead. Why dig them up? You counted your dead that day. It's ancient history. Why are we fighting over this? You want to push south. I say you leave Bronland alone. And he leans forward and sits up, makes himself look a little bit bigger, and he goes, you want us to avoid Bronland. You talk about how digging up those Archon weapons will be of no use to us, but you hold the keys to the armory. You hold our library hostage. You've seen our tools. They are not tools of the Archons. Trestian made. Well, amazing craftsmen, they don't pack the same wallop as Archon weapons. You want us to avoid Bronland. We need the tools. I think it would be only fair. You don't want us desecrating graves. You don't want us digging up ancient history. Don't want us seeing your involvement in the act. I think we need weapons. And you see the governor, he kind of sits back and he goes, I mean, is that all we need are weapons? Couldn't we buy them? And the Archon turns to him and goes, Governor, you organize this event. That is about all we need you for. We thank you. But the grown-ups are talking. Wander, can I get a perception check?
That's better.
Yeah, you have not had the best perception. You have not had the best looking around, but what's your true sight?
10 feet.
As you're taking notes, you kind of look up and you see a little lantern floating towards near the governor's shoulder.
Does it look dangerous?
Can I get an Arcana check?
Oh, I'm great with Arcana. I am absolutely wonderful. Ah, shit. I think I'm the best at Arcana.
You can't even
I know
tell
exactly
if
what that is.
You can't even tell if it's magical. You just kind of see it there. Nobody acknowledges it, but based on your perception, you've got high enough knowledge to at least notice that nobody else notices it, but you're not sure what it is magically or if it is dangerous.
Nah, I know exactly what that is. It's a flowing lantern held by a ghost. How far is it from Elijah?
Elijah, it's about 5 feet from Elijah. It's on the governor's. It's right above the governor's shoulder. It seems to be kind of floating away from him briefly. It seems to be making sure it's got a good view of the entire room.
I'm gonna look around, and you said I can tell that no one else has seen it.
Yeah. I mean, you got a 20 on your perception check, so yeah.
Okay.
Based on what it is, yeah, you can tell that nobody else has really noticed it.
I'm going to lean over and whisper to Zook as these two are, I guess, bickering with each other. Hey, Zook, do you see that floating lantern? Or is it just me hallucinating? I kind of point up.
Ooh. Yeah. Does anybody else look when I?
No, and you don't see
Get
anything.
my gate?
You don't see anything.
Hmm.
I'm trying my best to not full on point it out to the whole room.
Yeah.
And just like keep
As
it in our
as
corner.
you as you say that, you kind of take a look. It doesn't look like as much like a lantern. It was a flick that you were looking for at your notes. Now that you're taking a better look at it, it looks more like a sensor.
Floating orb that's like a sensor.
Yeah, floating orb, almost
Zook,
like you'd see
Zook's
on a chain
I'll-
with
Go
a
ahead.
priest.
Sorry.
So like a sensor.
I'll describe kind of what it looks like after he says that he can't see it, including its position.
Zook's pretty sure he knows what it is, even if he can't see it, though. And he's gonna interrupt the meeting and say, he'll say, "Has this room been checked for magical interference? I believe we want to continue on in private, do we not?"
Elijah and Elias trying to kind of trade glances and think, of course, there's a reason we chose the Trestian Archon so that they would be able to maintain security of the inner areas. Why we allowed the Ciceran Archons to conduct this meeting here, because they would be able to handle their own internal security while we handle the external. And Veer looks.
So
The room
Zook,
was checked multiple times. Not to mention my true
who says
sight would
that?
see
Elias?
something. Veer.
I think I remember we also checked it too as soon as we got there, and there are no physical
You
items
guys
that we
also
found.
checked it.
No, I know one of us got nat 20 on investigating.
Yeah.
But that might be Arcana that we did
I'm
not
gonna-
do.
I'm gonna detect magic.
Yeah, you go to detect magic. You cast detect magic, and you can see an orb in the air. I believe, what does detect magic tell you exactly?
What school it is?
What school of magic it is?
Your
Yeah.
feet, sense magic, visible creature. See a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you can learn of its school of magic, if any.
Okay. Yeah. So you see an aura around the blade by Veer, the blade by Elijah, as well as it looks like around their armor, and this orb. Circle of this aura, just in a pure circle floating in the air. That orb is you know it's school. It is divination.
Yes. Methinks something has snuck through your security, I say while I'm looking at Elias, and I'm going to dispel magic
Oh,
on
that
it.
bitch.
Yeah. Dispel magic. Here we are. One
That's
creature. Yeah, sorry, I was pulling it up as well.
Magical
magical
effect.
effect within
I
range.
think I
Third
know what
level.
it is, and I think it can be dispelled.
I mean, he kind of knows. You told him.
And you're casting it at 3. Can I get a spellcasting ability check?
I think so. Cast and go. Okay, that's intelligence.
Wanderer's kind of like he's not exactly on high alert now, but he is
'Kay.
looking around.
You dispel it, the
making
orb
sure,
vanishes.
Making sure there's nothing interesting going on. Or at least
And
there's no more
does Elias make any kind of reaction to that?
Can I get an insight check?
Yeah.
Like, this is one of those secret dice rolls. Elias, as he sits there, you see he shifts and he goes. He doesn't seem at all phased by it. However, the Archon does. Elijah, he does. In fact,
Sick.
when you cast your dispel magic, you notice he looked at the sensor.
I'll ignore it. I'll ignore it and say, I believe we can carry on in privacy now.
I no longer
then
sense it or anything like it.
I'll let Trix take. I'll gesture for Trix to continue the formalities.
Okay. So I'll have Wanderer like recite, the concerns, and then I'll reiterate. So we've got a boundary to the north that needs to be discussed, and we've obviously got some serious concern about the Bonadin. I probably mispronounced that
Bronlund.
area.
Yes.
Bromlin. I believe that these need to be. Let's carry on with those in a few minutes. But first, let's see if there are any other issues to discuss before we come back to that one. It seems that one is going to take a little bit of energy from all of us to resolve. What other Veer? What other things would you like us to discuss today?
Cool.
Why have you come to this table, and what do you hope to gain from this meeting?
Yes. Elijah, you know that our forces are pushing into Trest, the old Trestian territory. We're looking to purchase through our works and through the gold we've acquired a site within the old Trestian city. And she kind of sits in, leans in, puts her hands together. We are looking to purchase the old stronghold of the Archons in Trest.
Quick question: which one's saying that?
This would be Veer.
Veer.
That's Fear. All right.
Sorry, I'll be more descriptive as we go. She goes, yes, we are looking to purchase the old stronghold of the Archons. I understand that seems to be a sacred site for you. Your people tend to take pilgrimages, and whenever they can make their way down. And he kind of sits in as well and goes, yes, we do. That was our home for centuries. Why, are you planning on disrupting that? No. Just, she continues, she goes, no, I would just like to know what kind of agreement we could come to make this acceptable to you. I realize that we are tense enough. I would rather not turn Trest into the old city of Trest into a battleground once again. He sits and goes, let us send forces to maintain the libraries. Let us copy down the knowledge that we can. Give us 2 years to study, to reclaim what we had. We've been sending pilgrimages for ages, but their short stays have never been able to maintain themselves, and the veil of secrecy is starting to fall with the Galvin. He still going off of your old insight check, Zook. He's kind of concerned about this.
Stronghold.
Yes, them purchasing the stronghold. And she's very much seems to be applying, like as she comes in, she knows, she looks and she sees him, and she is starting to apply some pressure, and she goes, of course, what about the financial burden of your archons within the Trestian stronghold? You wouldn't expect them to go there without needing to pay for their food and their maintenance. You know how the archons work. There's work to be done in Trest. There's monsters to be killed. There's caravans to be guarded. I'm sure we can come to some kind of agreement that's beneficial for both of us. See, we're planning on buying it either way, and I hear that some other bidders recently lost their footing. And she looks at Elias, and she goes, is Trest having financial problems?
Does Trix recognize that she is being coy?
Yeah, I would say your background, you've recognized somebody being coy. She's kind of beating around the bush,
something to do with it.
Not
Yeah.
trying to be completely caught on record, accusing them of anything.
Right. Yep.
I mean, if you're having problems, I mean, we archons, we make a good amount of money with the merchants of the Central Sea. We could offer you some kind of loan. Can everybody refresh their insight?
Refreshing insight.
Okay, you're pretty insightful this time around. Look, your insight's waning off a little bit. Conversation's kind of getting a little bit boring for you.
I'm distracted by the magical items.
Your detect magic's going off.
Shiny.
The wizard is smelling magic, and he's interested. Right, because that lasts for 10 minutes. I love it. You're just like seeing these two with these auras around them. As soon as she mentions alone, you can see Elias visibly kind of shift and adjust. And he says, our financial position is no concern of yours, Commander. I'm just saying, if something financially were to happen to the Archons of Trest, it would look bad on all of us. You know, you're not the only ones who share the name. I would agree that yes, you could. We would allow you access to copy the materials within the stronghold for a cost. You know, nothing too absurd, but cover your fees, maybe make sure we have funds to rebuild the area. I believe that the Galvin treat it as some kind of historical site, so it hasn't been cheap to acquire. And then, of course, you mentioned also buying weapons. Why would I sell you the weapons when we have the plans to make more? Well, we would happily sell some plans, or we could send a few of our archons up to teach you. based on you guys' insights as tricks, you would notice this. I don't think other people would, just because you guys, I'm going 15 on this. As she says that, you can see Elijah the Archon. He doesn't just seem like he's trying to hide it. He's definitely
He's
trying
getting
to hide
red.
it. He's feeling insulted.
Yeah.
Can I get a religion check from Trix? Okay.
Oof.
Archons
job,
see their
Trix.
factions as religious factions within the same beliefs. This is essentially one side saying that she's under the threat of not getting what they want, willing to send missionaries to their home.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of being told that your side, your religion isn't as good as ours.
And overall, she has been posing this entire time that they are the failing group.
Yeah.
This, and you know, it's like
So
Elias. He's trying to stay out of this as much as he can.
yeah,
But he also seems insulted by Veer. By Veer talking about how
yeah. I mean,
how they need money.
she's obviously feels entitled. She's been entitled. The people of trust are coming to her for things that she already basically has. So she's in the power seat, and he feels it. So Elijah, would you like to respond now, or would you prefer that we take 5 minutes and have some refreshments brought in and get a little breath of fresh air?
Good thinking.
He as you see that, you know, he stands up, he grabs the scab, he says, "A quick recess would do wonders for the soul." And he goes, and Veer says, "Yes, I think we can all let ourselves cool down for a little bit. You know, you can go ask each other about my proposal. Fetch me when we're ready to resume. I'll just be in the other room."
Oh, Veer, could I have a minute with you? Just as everyone gets up to leave or whatever, I'd like to take a minute with her if she's willing.
Yeah.
Alone.
She as she gets up and she goes, "Of course," and she as the other two begin leaving the room, they start heading down the stairs. She says, "Of course, you can join me. Join me in the next room. We have a table set out. Of course, if your coterie would like to join me as well, that would be fine."
Zook, Wanderer, come on in. Let's. I'd love to talk to you, Veer. Mary was our close ally and friend, and I just kind of nod to Zook. I don't really want to not include Wanderer, but I'm not trying to like make an issue with her. So we were there when she died, and wanted to know, what was your relationship with her, and how were you able to work with her? What was it that she was doing for you that was so successful?
Yes, of course. If you'd like to, and she walks in as she walks, leads you guys out. She mentions, "I have known many. I have known. Oh, there is a party token. There is a party token. I knew Mary for a while. You see, she came to us. Oh, I want to say soon after we started. She was Travash was one of the first territories to extend their hand. When we formed,
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
She came to us. She let us know about about where they stood positionally, how they worked with the previous archons, their disagreements. Of course, Of course, she revealed herself almost immediately. Archons tend to have a way of discerning one's true nature.
Oh, we had a member of our party at the time when we met her, and he had a way of getting her to reveal herself rather quickly as well. I snicker at the reference to turtle soup. The Mary was so brave and strong, and yet right there, right at the very end, it seemed like that hopelessness snuck in just a crack. Did she ever talk to you about that? Did she ever talk to you about the void and how it was occupying her efforts? This young apprentice was being asked to do so much.
She hinted at it. I knew how old she I knew based on her true form that she was much older than she let on. She didn't talk too much. Well, she talked a little bit. We figured a little bit of things out as we worked with the Travashian government, but she was always pleasant. You know, she never really let that weight get to her. Why? I understand that she passed just a few months ago.
Violently, unfortunately.
Yes, I heard, and I've heard the problems back in Travash. I believe some of our forces have already been dispatched to assist them.
Oh,
Only
that is the best news.
only a small group, of course, but you know we're not quite in the state to mobilize fully. What would it look like if
From
we
the looks of
abandoned
your
our mountains?
armament and from what you've mentioned here today and from what I've read and heard, it seems like a few of you is worth an army of other fighters.
Archons are strong physically. We Helen was kind enough to inform us when she sought our aid that I understand the void has a way of taking one over.
Well, that is our secondary mission. We actually are heading back to recover. We have new information that has made it, well, a spark of hope for us to regain one of our lost heroes.
Well, the reason why we haven't dispatched too many is because we're worried about losing some of our ranks to them. If they were to find out what we were capable of, what we know, we're kind of worried about that facing them. So a handful of Archons for logistical and strategic support, but we might be soldiers, but we're not here to fight the war for another country.
Well, especially when it sounds like the problems that you are dealing with here is very severe, very serious.
We've been dealing with these problems for a long time. First it was fighting in the open, then it was pilgrimages to the stronghold, then it was contract poaching. It's just how it is. It's hard to get along with them.
May I ask a pointed question? I believe that Mary was direct. At least she was always direct with us, and I would choose that same method. I find it better for clearing the air. It seems like you hold all the cards in this negotiation. Why would you come to the table?
The Archons of Trest are proud. What we have in strength and training, we lack in numbers. They're a proud people, and they recruited vastly after the war, and we take a longer training approach to our people. Honestly,
Refiner's fire often is the hottest fire.
honestly, I wish we could get along with them.
I sense that. I actually don't. This is a full blown lie, but I do now. Up until that moment, I was like sure that she had no respect for them at all. Anyway, um, there, I believe that we could, you, this alliance could gain quite a bit of steam with the mere acknowledgement that you've just made to me. If you were able to make that to Elijah,
Acknowledge our weakness in front of them. Wouldn't it lead to an attack?
not, it's not a weakness to respect a powerful ally.
I think you misunderstand our relationship with them. They're not our allies.
They could be. You could recruit from their ranks and they could get better training and better. I laugh because I look at his appearance and I just, they need, they need really good training. They've got solid ore, but no master to mold the metal.
Tamaris, I'm an open person. That's what Mary enjoyed about me. I lost a lot in the war. Just like he did. I lost a lot. And while we work every day to rebuild the trust that we lost with the rest of the world, it seems like he's not eager to. They guard their cities. They take whatever contracts they feel is right. They attack. They do whatever it is. They are the enforcers of trust, what we used to be.
Pride. That is a song with a despairing tune. I see that
It's more than
your
that.
wisdom is far exceeds his.
It's more than that. He still holds to the old ways. We have better training not because we are better equipped, not because we have our old training facilities, not because we have our research tools, but because we have the mindset that we can be made better. We are not the armor against the storm that we used to be. We adapt. We become better. They are so stuck in their past and in what the archons used to be. Now, I think
you're right.
I do believe we should continue the meeting. I would be willing
Thank
to
you
come
for
to
the-
grounds, but
For the time.
if you wanted to speak with them, you could as well. But
Oh,
I would
I know
hate.
that you two will speak. Yeah, you two will do much better talking to each other than I can ever hope to do. I much better with song than prose.
Zook wants to ask a question before this
Oh
meeting
yeah,
adjourns.
absolutely. Yeah.
He just wants to ask her if there's any concession that Elijah could give that would allow
Oh, good one. Good one. Yeah.
her to permit them to take Borland.
To let them take what?
Borland.
Borland. Yeah.
Bronland.
Bronland.
Bromwell,
Yeah.
thank you.
Bromwell.
I'm writing that one down.
For him not to take Bronland.
He wants to violate the ground and dig up their weapons
Yes.
because he
Is
knows that
it
his weapons are
strictly
inferior.
in your belief? Is it strictly for the weapons?
Oh, good one. Yeah. What if there's something else?
Bronland was the site of our greatest disgrace. Night of when the war ended, we not we, I wasn't there. He mentioned that very vividly for a reason. He knows I wasn't there. He knows I didn't partake in the same act of aggression. When the war ended, we weren't the only thing. Archons and humans and people weren't the only things killed on that field.
So, I stop her because I don't want to hear their whole. Well, we don't have time for their whole history. So, is it a non-starter?
Bronland is a non-starter. I would rather see my mountains razed before he digs up a single Archon.
Is there a way
If they concede not to take Bronland, what concessions would you be willing?
those designs for the weapons, would that give them the ability to make their own, or would they still require something else?
The craftsman tools, the expert craftsmen, their tools kits.
And do you think that they have that? From what we've seen in New Trest, it's amazing.
Magically, yes. Magically, like they can imbue the weapons just fine. The issue is the craftsmanship. They're lacking the proper forges.
Along with the designs, would you be willing to loan or help train craftsmen into?
We can train the craftsmen
So
all
they
we want.
wouldn't-
Like I said, the issue is the forges. They don't have the capability of creating these forges. We don't even have the
Where are the
capability.
forges located?
In the mountains, in our homes, the training
Would
grounds
they
of
have
the
access
Archons.
to it? They wouldn't have access to them, would they?
Now, even if we gave them the weapon patterns, they could make something similar. But our forges. Have you ever heard of cold light walkers?
A little bit. In some of the songs I've sung.
Yes. Well, see, our forges. Our forges are interesting. When you strip a cold light walker of its clothes, it has an intense light to it. We use that light to heat our forges. Now it's called cold light because whatever they expel outside of their light is icy cold. They absorb heat. They don't distribute it. So the trick is to make that internal heat work for you. I don't believe there are cold light walkers this side out here. They would need vast mountains of ice, which they could try. I'm worried it won't be enough. I would happily offer them the knowledge of how we craft our weapons.
They may be able to find some interesting things here. The touch to the Fey world here is just around the corner. It intermingles here.
Well,
You should walk the lands here if you ever get a chance. There's surprising portals that just open up. deposit you somewhere. We've
Well,
had
as a
rather
concession. Sorry, I didn't mean to step
go
on you.
ahead. I was just trying to get her to think about walking in their shoes for a minute. Maybe see if there's something. Yeah, go ahead.
Perhaps as a concession for them not taking Bronlin, swearing an oath to it for all time, would you be willing to provide them with perhaps some of the weapons that they desire?
We can offer some surplus. Some of what we have on hand that we're not using. I would happily,
Well,
Perhaps that would
if it
fulfill the
avoids if it avoids something that major, I'd be willing to do that. But hopefully, it doesn't come to that. But I would be willing to offer it, whether he accepts it, whether he. I don't know if they are here to make a deal. I mean, every time.
I'm not sure they are either. We definitely want to keep this as a last resort. It'd be much preferred for them just to respect your space. Should be hallowed ground.
Best case scenario, I trade access to the old stronghold for Bronland.
That was something I was thinking for a while, but didn't know if they were both equal of value. What is so
What is
special
in the
about Stronghold?
Yeah, it's in the stronghold.
When Old Trest was in power, it was our base of operations. It's where we recruited. It's where we keep some documentation. As they said, they're trying to copy down information from its libraries.
Have they been the ones refusing you access to it?
We're buying the place. They're
Who
worried
owns it
we're
now?
going to strip them of their access
Would you?
if they keep behaving this way. You know, I heard the other day about a pair of archons that aided the transport of a caravan from Trest to Hath and then extorted the caravan when it arrived.
No nobility at all.
I'm dealing with children here.
Yeah, your wisdom far exceeds them. It's as if you've been around yourself for a very long time.
Archons live a long time. The fact that he cannot keep his archons in check, it hurts all of our name. You know, we lost 5 contracts to that. Some of the caravans in the southern continent won't even work with us anymore.
How did he get to be their leader?
He took over after the war. I don't know. It's not my group. I don't know if he killed everyone else for it. I mean, he certainly seems the barbarian type.
Well, I just heard the old Elias rattling through the hallway. We should probably head back.
I think you should. I would be more than welcome. If you'd like to get everything started up, that would be just fine. But since you are supposed to be a neutral party here, if you wanted to discuss with them beforehand, I would be agreeable to that.
Well, thank you. With your blessing, we will do that.
Of course.
Zook, are you comfortable? You have all the
It's
pieces
only
you need?
fair. Yeah, let's
Okay.
let's discuss with the other party.
We'll be right back.
You guys walk by. She seems to not get up. She sits there and she catches her breath as you guys go, and you guys enter into the other room. The Archon, Elijah, is just sitting down with his blade. Elias is sitting there. He goes, as he goes, look, I know We have it under control. Your people are on it. It doesn't matter. And you guys enter, and they go, yes. Elias stands up and goes, yes. Thank you for coming back. Are we ready to begin? Is there an issue?
We
No
wanted
issue I
to
know of.
speak with you first in private before we rejoin the meeting.
And they look to each other and look back at you guys and go, And Elias goes, yes. Trying to see where we draw the line.
Of course.
Elias, with your blessing, we'd like to speak to Elijah alone, if that's okay.
Of course, I've got some security concerns to deal with. And he gets up and wanders out, and you can hear him moving down the stairs.
And I'm going to check the room out again and make sure that we're...
And I'm going to take
There's no
the
other
seat that he just occupied. I'm going to sit down where Elias was sitting.
Let me get my notepad ready. I gotta flip over the page. I got an entire page of Veer, now I need an entire page of Elijah.
You sit down in a spot, and Elijah kind of looks over and he goes, "So what is it you wanted to discuss?"
I actually want to know what's your pain point here, and what do you see coming from this meeting?
Bronland. Is there more to it than just the weapons? Zook says, cutting right to the chase.
You're just gonna fire him up. Hey
Oh,
man,
yeah.
angry
No,
people.
we're gonna
Tell the
see
truth. Yeah, I
We're
know.
gonna see what's going on here.
Can I get a persuasion check?
Oh baby, you know it. I will give you the best one in the world.
Not very persuasive. Oh, tricks maybe. Yeah. Oh,
He goes.
It's gonna smooth it over.
He's trying to be a bit guarded. He goes, "There's a bit to Bronland. It's an important site. There was a lot that happened, and I think there's some useful tools we can use there."
Is that the only thing that you want from this meeting? Is to gain access to the weapons, tools?
I think that's all Veer needs to be concerned with.
Or
If we could secure a deal that would get you access to the Citadel and the resources there, as well as perhaps even some weapons, finely crafted weapons from Veer, would that be enough to dissuade you from taking Bronland?
We could equip our advanced ranks. See, our numbers are starting to swell beyond what our equipment is capable of. Some of our archons have needed to take outside equipment over traditional weaponry. Some of our Felidars are going unarmored. Equipment would be nice. What kind of access to the Citadel? Preferably, I would like to just have the opportunity to transcribe the resources within its libraries.
Of course, the details are still to be hashed out, but if the framework is amiable, I think we could rejoin the meeting and see if we can come to a consensus.
Of course. There's one other thing I'd like.
Here it is.
I want her sword.
Well, sure.
You want to lead the troops, all of them, huh?
No, not in any philosophical sense. I want her sword. It belonged to our queen. The
sword
traitor
is the leader of all of the archons.
The traitor who watched her queen die should not be the one with it. It should be
I
back home with
see.
its people. Not half the world away.
Perhaps one item at a time. If we can get past Bronland, maybe we can address the sword.
Of course.
But I believe both at once is going to lead to a stalemate. Or worse. Zook says. Ominously.
Fine.
And
Fine.
what of the access to the stronghold?
Would be willing to pay our part. Would be willing to allow the excavation of Bronland to be supervised. But without knowledge of how to build our weapons, without the knowledge that they keep at the Caesarian Mountain training grounds, I don't think we can avoid digging it up.
Well, I believe the information could be made available without
You
digging
actually
up
might
the
get,
graves.
yeah, you might get better information if we can get you the designs and the access to the craftsmen and the forges. You'll actually be better off than digging up weapons that have been
Get you
laying
the
and then
knowledge.
violating.
Get you the knowledge and the resources. That way you can build them on your own independently
Yeah, you're better
without
off.
having to desecrate graves.
You put it so beautifully. You sure you're not a bard?
Maybe we can come to some
No,
agreement.
the dead deserve their rest.
The last thing I would like to, speaking of respect for the dead, one of our pilgrims was attacked in Trest. A couple of archons got into a spat. One of hers cut him down. If she would hand over her captain for punishment and reprimand, that would be worth Bronland.
Now, when you say punishment, are you referring to also getting a fair trial?
He'll receive the trial that every archon has received. He will receive a trial. But this is a military action. He will go before one of our tribunals.
And will you be willing to hand over people on your side that are accused of violations by her people?
If they have the evidence, I would be agreeable to allow them to sit upon a tribunal with them.
Would you give them the same respect to let them sit on the tribunal of their captain? And would you be required to hand over the evidence?
Of course. This is a facet of justice. This isn't vengeance.
Perhaps we leave reprisals and grievances for a later discussion as well. And maybe let's just address the framework of the present issue at hand. And once we have a foundation there, I think we'll have better grounds to address these other grievances you have. Perhaps even at a later date.
Fine. I would be agreeable to a further discussion.
Well, may we bring in Elias and Fear?
Of course.
Or is there anything else you'd like to discuss before we pen some documents?
No, I think that's everything that we have. If you'd like to,
I am going to take myself out instead of sending somebody else because I don't want to be embarrassed by having to get out of Elias's seat when he gets here. So I will go out and bring in Elias and Veer. Is Veer still in the room she was in before?
She's still in the other room, and she'd be willing to come. Elias is not.
Yeah, I kind of wondered about that.
When you kind of when you go downstairs to fetch him, he went down the stairs. He is
Yeah.
in the foyer area.
Elias,
Yeah,
do you want to be a part of this, or should we carry on and just show you the efforts after we're completed?
Of course, I just have one thing to take care of real quick. And he kind of approaches the door and opens it, swings it open, and there seems to be one of the city guards on the other side. He says, "We're coming to a close. Can you wrap this up out there?" And he shuts the door. And as he comes...
Insight.
Yeah,
I
I was
see
gonna
that as
say
a
you got
threat.
insight that shit.
Does
Insight
that sound like a
motherfucker.
secret coded message or a threat to me?
Give me insight. Oh, crap, I forgot you had
Hell
such a
yeah.
stupid insight. It seems to be some kind of threat, not necessarily against you. As he comes back, he says, "I am so sorry. The crowd seems to be getting aggravated out there. I never wanted this meeting to happen in the first place."
Yeah, I'm gonna. If you don't mind, Elias, just give me a second. I wanna see this for myself. I am gonna open the door. Are the guards still at the door,
There
or
are
have they left?
2 guards by the door. They kind of address you, kind of with a little bit of a sneer, and as they look out beyond the gates of the courtyard. It's a very small courtyard, as the city of Trest doesn't have a lot of space for these buildings. Beyond it, you can see a pair of the archons kind of trying to move a crowd around, a crowd that's obviously being agitated.
Yeah, there's only 2 archons for this whole crowd, and this guy has too many people that he can't even keep them all straight, and he doesn't have enough people to protect this place. That's suspicious. It's on purpose. I am going to, let's see if this works. I think I might be able to calm the crowd. Give me a second.
Oh, nice. Yeah, good thinking.
Okay. It lasts a minute, so it might not be enough, but let's go for it. I am going to pull out my mandolin. I will request one of the archons to just keep within distance of me, please. Don't walk in front of me or make it look like I'm being guarded. But in case I need to make a run for it, you can grab me.
He agrees. He is, of course.
I'm
Safety
going to
is
get
paramount.
within 60 feet of the crowd, or maybe a little bit closer, so that people in the back. Do I see anyone actively instigating this crowd?
Give
Like,
me
is there a leader or a soapbox guy?
Give me a perception check.
It's not bad.
As you look out, it's hard to tell, but you can see a handful of nobles around talking with people. You can see one person kind of up on like a pole, one of the light poles, talking. As you look at them and you can hear them, it seems like multiple people. You're not able to like get a good grasp other than one guy on the light pole. They are talking about how the archons how the Cicerans betrayed Trest, how they were traitors, and now they're looking to
I'll post it.
Nice.
I'm going to be within 60 feet of the guy on the pole.
Yeah, I would say you're within
and
60 feet.
I'm going to be singing a song This is going to be a calming song, like one that would be about the beauties and the power and the strength of communities as they work together. The goals that can be accomplished when great people do great things and work together to do it.
Nice.
And then I will let you roll those at your leisure. We will assume some percentage works. I don't have to roll anything else. It's a wisdom save of 17. And then I will go back with Elias unless somebody tries to kill me and then get back into the meeting.
Yeah.
This will last for a minute. So it's not going to be a huge long time, but it might buy us some time.
People are riling up the crowd.
Well,
Yeah, it might be enough to calm the crowd.
Well, yeah,
Or disperse the
and
crowd.
they'll watch me leave, right? I mean, they're gonna hear this, and then they can't really perceive anyone else except for me if they fail the check. And I'm not fighting them, so it's not a disadvantage or an advantage.
You
It's just
cast
straight roll.
enthrall, and the guy on the light post immediately like you see he gets this long look in his face.
I just repeated what his mom told him to do. If you can't say nothing nice, don't say anything at all.
Okay. Yeah.
As I get past Elias, right before we get to the doorway, I'm going to put my hand on his chest. I'm going to remind him that if he makes anything go wrong in here, that he will be personally accountable for it to Helen and to the rest of the nations. You're here to make sure that this goes well. If you have any ulterior motives, then you'll be silenced. And I walk in and let him commiserate with himself, decide whether he wants to come in or not.
He comes in with you after you a little bit, visibly annoyed.
Should be. I did it to annoy him. I want him focused on me, not on them. His seat is open, I believe. Yeah, if he wants to sit down. Yeah.
And he
Hey.
takes his seat and.
All right, Zook, make us proud.
Yeah, Zook will start it off, and he will. Hey, welcome back, and thank you all for joining us again. We have something, I believe, of a framework that we may be able to form an agreement around between the two parties. There are a lot of other issues that I hope we can leave for another date and build some trust between the parties with an agreement that's beneficial for all parties involved. And I would like to turn the time over to Trix to elucidate the details and see if we can come up with a formal agreement.
Veer, we really appreciate the time that you gave us when it's meant to be a break and whatnot. And Elijah, again, it's obvious that both of you demand and receive due respect from your followers. You're both the leaders of vast powers. And as such, there's a responsibility to act with humility and to do what is best, even if it goes against your own personal desires. What we have here is an opportunity for both of you to not only succeed, but to excel and to build back that which was lost in a way that will benefit everybody and even reach further than your own groups. we have an opportunity here to give you the weapons that you need. We have an opportunity here to get you the access to the citadel that you need, to the library, and both parties will benefit from this. Personal issues and concerns, they will have to be put off to a different day. You both have said what's most important. Can we make this happen?
Yeah, they will. Veer's the first to go. Yes, I'd be willing to make a deal here if our friend here would. I think for the benefits of this situation, it's also best that Elijah, me and you refrain from trading jabs. I think we're both
Oh, so passive aggressive.
Politics, folks.
I want to know if does she seem sincere?
um
I feel like she might be. Yeah, she might be sincere in this.
Is she goading him or is she really sincere?
Yeah.
give me insight.
Does he get to do the insight check too? I don't know.
He's gonna be
Basically,
making
just
an
said
insight
stop.
check.
Basically, just
He
said
might
stop acting like a
automatically
child.
assume- Oh, I know that's not what she said, but it could definitely be taken that way. Ugh.
He she this is a twofold statement. She's very sincere that they should stop kind of trading insults at each other. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it looks like she's trying to get the last word in to this insult little fest.
Right. Yeah.
And he goes, and he looks at her and goes, I think it would be best that we both behave with some sort of decorum. I think we haven't exactly put
Good
our best foot
response.
forward.
That's a fair response. Wow, dude, that's the most humility we've seen out of him to
Yeah.
date. So I'm gonna take it and run with it.
Yeah, he's now the bigger man.
And as soon as you can see this this look in his face as he goes, don't worry, Veer. We both know who blinked first.
Oh, never
my
mind.
God. Like on this note, I'm
Immediately-
gonna reach
Wanderer in
I'm
the
gonna reach
corner.
into-
Let there be blood.
I'm gonna reach into Zook's pack before anyone can even respond. I'm gonna grab a stack of papers that I know is in there. Some of them are empty, but most of them are full of shit, right? Like literally and metaphorically. I'm gonna plop them on the table, and I'm gonna pull off white sheets, clear sheets of paper. I'll set them in front of Zook. I will grab, my own like quill and ink, and I'll set it on the table. Let's go ahead and get this started. Like I'm just trying to cut through the bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so Zook will take cut to the chase again and say, so the agreed framework that has been proposed to both parties is a concession for not taking Bronland. Veer will grant access to the Citadel, including access to the information for creating new weapons. And the pauses and looks at both parties.
and the
Where we're at.
assistance with craftsmen and making sure that they have some example weapons given them from the depot that were extra, I believe is what you said, Veer. Is that right?
Yes, we have some
Yes.
some spare equipment laying around, stuff that's not in use, some that recently crafted and haven't been assigned to an archon yet. It's best that if our friends up north are going to act within their framework, they should be equipped the best they can be.
Oh my God! Again, nicest thing she said all day. Okay, let's get back to the part where what does he get from this?
Let's
Okay,
keep it
what does
going,
she get?
kids.
She's like,
He's
I gotta keep the momentum.
they're getting along.
He's conceding Bronland.
They're getting along. Don't fuck this up. I'm looking at Elias, just ready to fucking throttle him if he does anything. Fuck this up.
And
He doesn't
Yeah.
seem to want this thing to work. so-
Elijah goes, of course, in exchange, access to the Citadel, these weapons, we would forgo unsupervised access to Bronland. We would like to perform some sort of excavation, though, there, but we would like to have. We would allow supervision. I would be rather it being a scavenger site. I feel like a shared cultural site would be a better use of our time.
Is this agreeable, Veer?
I'm just holding my breath.
And she thinks
As-
about it, and
As
because
an addendum, future discussions of perhaps a joint excavation or supervised excavation.
I would be open to future discussions about a future excavation. You have no need of the weaponry.
The committee about the committee.
I do believe that I would be agreeable to us sharing the site as a cultural site, as long as neither side begins excavating. For the time being, we can discuss that at a later time. I just feel like
Desecration just can't be.
I feel like enough.
Desecration does nobody any
Yeah,
good.
I feel like enough blood has been spilled due to that site. I would be agreeable to that. Yes.
Excellent.
Now,
All right.
Now, a bit onto what I want, because Bronland is a site, and you mentioned being able to help train them. We would like to expand our embassy here in regards to that. Allow a few more permanent additions to the city, if it would be agreeable to them to facilitate the additional training and maybe ensure that you're picking the cream of the crop of your people.
Elijah, that sounds beneficial to all parties. Do you agree?
That can be agreeable. I mean, I don't see any reason why having a couple more of our southern brothers around wouldn't be a problem. And you see Elias kind of sit
There
up
we
and he
go.
goes, any discussion of embassy expansion should be discussed with the other three pillars of the government.
This is what Elias is saying.
The governor sits forward.
Okay.
Elias,
Yeah,
your turn, please.
I'm gonna.
Of course, we would
I'm
address
a-
this with you.
Yeah, I'm a
Please.
towering beast, right? Like I'm fucking huge, and I'm gonna go stand behind him, and I'm gonna put my claw on his shoulder. Elias, your discussions will be had after this meeting. What do you think about that? And I'm gonna squeeze lightly,
Give
and
me
by lightly I
intimidation.
mean intimidation.
Give me intimidation.
It's not gonna be great, but it might work.
You
Yeah,
squeeze
it was
his
coming.
shoulders, and he
It
kind
was
of
coming.
shakes it off, and he says, and stands up, and he goes, "You're asking the archons to make a binding deal for all of Trest without the agreement of our full committees, our full council."
Wander,
Okay.
perhaps we need
Hold
to
on.
escort
Zook
Elias out.
stands up. Zook stands
Does
up.
someone
hands on
need
the table.
escorting?
Wait. Zook stands
This
up.
is
and
going badly quickly.
He's
Oh,
taking
you know
charge of
what?
the meeting.
Oh shit! I forgot
In
to add
addendum.
inspiration.
In
Yeah,
addendum to
go
the
ahead.
agreement, the expansion of the embassy will be contingent upon agreement, of course, by Elias and the proper committees. Is everybody in agreement?
I think you just need to put in the committee names. Since we don't have all the names, we don't want to put one. Then the others feel like they're left out. Let's just put the heads of the committees in there, if you don't mind.
Fine, the council
I'm
can
not
be
sure Elias
agreeable
is
to
going to be
that.
alive tomorrow.
All right. I think we have an agreement here that all parties can be signatory
That is
to.
awesome.
And then taking the paper, I'm gonna first go to Elias and get his signature first because he's the one making the biggest stink. And then we're gonna
Oh yeah,
get the other two
absolutely.
to sign.
He doesn't like being left out, not being the spotlight.
Elias kind of reaches into his jacket and he into his clothes and he pulls out a quill and dips it in your ink and signs it. This is
Fantastic. All right,
not.
I apologize. I apologize for my compatriot's behavior, and I give Trix a look to try to assuage Elias a little bit.
Oh, I just
Um,
wink at him. Who, me? Wouldn't hurt a fly.
we don't mean to step on anybody's toes here. We're just here to try to assist in facilitating your meeting of these parties. I'm trying to give him more
Oh,
credit
yeah.
than
Sure.
his due.
Yeah.
That's the best. Good cop, bad cop. Love it.
Yes, I think my part in this has been played. I'm going to excuse myself to have a smoke, catch my breath.
Yeah, I'll join you.
Thank you.
I need to smoke myself. I'm going to walk out with him.
And then
I'm
I'll
keeping an
get
eye on him. I'm spying on him.
I'll get Elijah's. Oh yeah, good call. I'm gonna get Elijah's signature next.
Okay. There we go.
The DM just split the party so easily. It's as if we had it. He made it sound like it was our own idea.
Give me a second, Trix. I'm pulling your token.
And I'm gonna first thing I'm gonna do is apologize. I got so nervous in there. I'm so sorry.
You kind of
It's
fall in,
always-
and as you're apologizing, you kind of walk it. You can see the two guards that are outside are now standing inside.
Before this, it's always been just small time negotiations without serious implications. I don't know how you do this day after day.
You learn to roll with the punches. Now,
Has he pulled out his pipe?
he has not yet. He's walking for the door.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm walking with him. Yeah. You go outside to smoke? You don't have a smoking room in here, huh?
I wouldn't know. It's not our building. It's the embassy for the Trestian Archon or the Ciceran Archons.
Cool.
And as he steps out, he goes, "You two accompany me." And they leave the premises they leave the door with him.
Okay, I'll go out with him.
Okay.
With them.
You step out, and you can see the crowd still there.
What do I see? Okay.
The crowd's still out there. You can see it's been over a minute. You can hear the person on the light pole that you had previously enthralled shouting now about how they're using magic to affect them.
I don't think they know, do they? I don't think they know that they've been enthralled. Let's see.
I think it might be one of those things where if they succeed, they know. But
They
if
just don't know. Yeah. No, it doesn't in there. It doesn't say either way.
But he's not
Whether
the
they
only one
fail
out
or
there, and you're
not.
not sure how many spellcasters are in this mob.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, if somebody can't be charmed, they might know, or it's a spellcaster. I'm not able to get through the door. Have I been locked out, or am I? I'm able to see, but I just can't. Okay.
Yeah, I
Theater
don't
of
have
the
a
mind,
map
got
for
it.
the courtyard.
All right, cop. Cool.
Yeah, you can see out there. You can see as soon as he gets out there, the noble Elias grabs his pipe and crushes some tobacco into it and takes a little sparker
I'll pull
and
out
sparks it.
Yeah, I'll pull out my bag and stuff my pipe. Have you ever tried any of the weed from Travash?
I haven't tried Travashian pipe weed. They say the Sutranin stuff's on another level, though.
Oh, I have some of that too. And I reach in my other pocket. And you should, here, just take my bag. I got another one back at the tavern.
Right.
It's great stuff. Great
It-
stuff.
Yes. And he starts smoking. You can hear the crowd outside continuing to yell at the archons. You can see the archons at the gate still trying to keep them back, but you can see they're starting to kind of get worried. This group has grown much larger, whereas probably it was a group of maybe 50 to 70 people before. The group has swelled to at least 100.
I'm
And-
going to use the tip of my pipe and point to the man on the pole. What do you know about the gentleman that's riling up this crowd?
Ever heard of him? Probably just some punk from the lower city.
Why do they oppose peace between the archons?
You want to let traitors into the city? She killed her queen. She killed our leader, and you want her to come into this area unopposed. She's gonna get some people riled up.
Let's see.
Now,
And what is the message that the governor of this wonderful place delivers to the people about why this is important?
and he looks to you, and he looks to his guards between him, and then to the archons and to the group out there, and you can see he taps his pipe down and reaches for his pocket, where he pulls what looks like a small red sphere, and he says, "That justice will be served."
Well,
And that our
that
laws
is
are
an
obeyed.
important message. That is an important message. Without justice and the law, we have no stability.
You seem like I would say agreeable, but somewhat intelligent, I should give. More like, how about this? I will give you 30 seconds. I think 30 seconds would suffice. Your group seems powerful enough. You've been agreeable, you've agreed to certain terms, and I think in the name of justice, we shouldn't drag another government into our problems.
I like the way you think. 30 seconds for what? To talk?
No. See, I think those two have done enough talking. And he takes the small orb, and you see he just quickly drops it on the ground, and there is a bright flash of light.
Okay.
And you can hear the rhetoric shift in the crowd. About 12 people. Person on the light pole is now calling about how they're giving concessions, how they're gonna let them in, a foreign enemy, into their town. They're gonna let them take more area of their great city. They're gonna let them convert people over to their archons. They're gonna turn them against you, and you can hear the rhetoric start to change. And it's probably about 20 seconds in when you can see one of the archons stagger. He probably had, it looks like he staggers back, he pushes them off, and you can see he kind of grasps his chest as one of the other guys just comes up with a knife and just goes in. You can see about 3 or 4 people per archon are just trying to get as much pain in as possible. And Elias turns to you and he goes, "Your 30 seconds starts now."
How far away is it like a gate that these people are pouring through? Is it a bottleneck?
Yes, it's a low fence, so they would be able to clamber over it.
Oh, they're climbing over it.
They
Okay.
haven't breached the perimeter yet. It seems like a lot
Right.
of the crowd is a little unsure. It's just a handful of people that have started stabbing these archons, while a bunch of other agitators have started riling up this crowd. You can see the city guards beside Elias. They kind of move towards the gate. Before we continue with you, let's shift inside. Where Zook and the Archons are having a conversation with Wanderer.
Yeah, we're very cordially just finishing up
Yeah.
signing this document.
Yeah, as you get finished the document, you put it in front of them to sign. They each sign it, but before they each sign it very quickly. They read it over, sign it very agreeably. They seem to be nice. They do shake each other's hands as they sit there. But before anybody gets up, Elijah sits and goes, "I think there's one other thing we should discuss. That's a beautiful sword you have there, Veer. Would you be agreeable to handing it over? Maybe there's some sort of agreement we can come to aside from these two. We have great craftsmen here in Trest. We could fasten up a unique piece of equipment, maybe build ourselves a replica. Is there any way you would allow me to claim the blade of our people?" And she sits and she thinks for a second, and she looks down at the blade and picks it up and kind of feels its weight, and she goes, draws it slightly. You know, they say archons. They say the people in Sutrana, and of course, you know, the Shattered... no, I'm sorry, my apologies. The Federation of Agathane. They say that archons are known by their actions, not their words. There's nothing you could say to make me forfeit this to you. I mean, it is just a symbol after all, but it's my history. Maybe next time. Maybe next time, if you would like, because Elias organized this and we did not, and they didn't exactly understand our ways. If you would like a little friendly competition, I would give you an opportunity to win it. After all, what would our people think if we each of us stepped down from a challenge to each other, even a friendly one?
Not friendly about this.
And he and he kind of weighs the weight of his blade, so he goes, "Courtyard? Temple courtyard, say? We want an audience. Next time. I think it would be fun."
Splendid. Oh, this is going to be more.
As you
Zook moving
open it.
5 feet away.
Crack open a beer.
you roll up the paper. They roll up the paper. They hand it to you. You can tell. Give me an insight check.
Should we both insight check
Yes.
since we're both there? Okay. Wander's just waiting to see blood.
Okay.
Very
This
good, very
seems
good.
like a very friendly way of inviting each other back.
Okay.
Wander,
good.
you-
They
Friendly
are
this
actually.
isn't like this isn't a next time we will meet, we will kill each other. That is how we will do things. It's not anything like that. By what she's saying is she's going, I would be open to talking with you again. Maybe we can get a little more active. We can enjoy the company of our people. We can gather. From Wander, you've kind of heard about this before, something similar. Whenever these kind of friendly challenges are issued between leaders, sometimes it leads to some sort of little event. It's usually some kind of way for the two groups to bond. It's kind of like a bare knuckle fight in a camp. You're not looking to kill each
Wander
other.
enjoys this greatly.
They're not looking to kill each other. They're just looking for a little friendly competition.
Oh. Yes. Zook seeing the camaraderie, the budding camaraderie is gonna. He'll agree to arrange with Elias a proper venue for the event.
Tricks. As this conversation kind of wraps up in there, because your
Yeah,
stuff
I'm
happened
running.
very fast.
Yeah, I open the door. I close it behind me. If there's a bar or any kind of like method of obvious locking, I'm dropping the bar, and I'm running
Just
back
grabs a bench
into the
and throws it
room.
on.
I'm running back into the room. I guess 6 seconds. Every 6 seconds, I can go 30 feet. So I should be able to make it to them
60 feet
well
with a
within
dash.
the time. Okay, yeah, cool. So I should be able to make it to them in plenty of time to warn them. As I get really close to the room, I'm going to stop running and just kind of like walk in calmly, sweat dripping off my brow.
Ties his suit.
Elias has betrayed us. We can protect you. If you don't mind, we'd like to teleport you guys out of here. And we should have enough time to draw a teleportation circle before anyone gets back to us.
How long does it take to draw a teleportation?
round.
We could just.
6 seconds.
Let's just. Oh, you think that's better than de-dooring?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
can't get them far enough
Oh,
away for the
yeah.
D-door.
Okay.
So it
Oh,
takes
and we
6
can get 'em.
seconds.
D-door, with the D-door, you risk the crowds.
Well,
I
we
see.
don't know the rest of the
They're all around
area.
the building.
So...
Casting time 1 minute.
Okay. Yeah, I just said 1 round. Duration was 1 round. Yeah, 1 minute. So I am going to
guard
throw
the entrance.
Yeah, but dude, I got this covered. I'm gonna just put up my creation right there. Like I'm gonna put a creation right in the doorway that looks like. I mean, how much space do I need? Oh yeah, we got plenty of room in here. Yeah, we don't need a big space for this. So I'm gonna put in a wall that looks exactly like the area's wall. Like what it was a door there before, and now it looks like a wall.
Yeah, you put up that
But
wall
it's gonna
there.
be a
Good
real.
thinking.
It's gonna be lead. It's gonna
They'll
be tough
redirect them.
shit. Let's just make them think twice, right?
Yeah.
All we got to do is
Throw
a
the
minute.
table out of the way so we have enough room for this.
Oh no, there's room here. Yeah, I think it only takes 5 feet. So.
You throw the table out of the way and start your little casting. And as you do, you can see Elijah kind of stands up, grabs his blade, grabs his helmet off of the table and puts it on. And he goes, "If you'll excuse me, I think my people need to be deployed for some riot control."
They do.
Who did?
You can't. That wall's not going to drop for a bit.
He's gone.
You're welcome to stay behind.
He's already gone.
Oh, he bamped. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
No incantation,
I've
no
got skills.
spellcraft. He just vanished.
That guy's got skills. That's cool. I'm jelly.
You're like, I'm jelly. Yeah. you guys ready? What?
Is she willing to come with us? I guess.
She is. Where are you drawing your circle to?
The sigils, I believe, should take us. Oh my God, she needs to get all the way. I mean, does she? If she knows a sigil for her home, we'll
let's
take her
ask
home.
her. Yeah, let's ask
Yeah.
her if she has a chain code to get home, and we'll just take her there.
You.
If not, we can go to.
Yeah, you guys start
more
drawing out your circle, and as you start, like, you draw the circle, and she realizes what you're doing, and then as you're about to start the glyph, she goes, no, give me that, and she takes the chalk and just quickly, like, scribbles a code you don't recognize.
Of course not. Yeah. She's not going to give it to us. She's going to do it herself. Yeah.
Well, now you guys have, like we said, it's the visualization of it that you guys needed.
Perfect. Good. And this
Because
is exactly what we needed.
yeah,
So,
because
yeah.
when you guys had messaged Helen for it, she said that it couldn't be given verbally.
Oh, that's right. It was visual.
And then she
Can
hands
We'll
it back
take
to you.
a Kodak moment.
She
Can
ha-
Water try to memorize it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, we got it.
Yeah.
We already got
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
And she goes,
Yeah.
she hands it back to you, and she goes, "You know the spell, right?"
Of course.
Yeah, Zook cast the
Are
spell.
you ready? Yep. Cool.
Or begins casting the spell.
Dude,
I guess I should say.
we just saved ourselves a fucking shitload of work. We just saved the world, saved the girls, saved the cheerleader, saved the
I
world.
think we finally did it right this time.
We did
Oh,
a
there's
diplomacy,
no-
guys.
There's no
This
way.
is where
No,
we're
no,
wrapping
no.
today.
I was gonna say this is the perfect time to wrap. Dude, no, we did not. We did exactly what we do every single time, which is we leave a place in chaos and we get the fuck out.
I mean, at least this time
Yeah,
it
at
wasn't
least
your
we
fault.
saved someone this time.
I mean, yeah, we didn't feed her to the void. Yeah,
You know
we
what?
didn't-
If
we
things
didn't-
fall apart, that's on them. We achieved
Well-
our objective.
Well, yeah, and here's the cool thing is Elijah's on their side, so he's part of that group, right? So, but Elias is a fucking betrayer, dude. That guy
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, we got
He's
the archons
bad.
together, which was the goal.
Mm.
Elias,
Dude, I think he had a crush on her.
secondary. That's
I think he was hitting on her. Yeah.
I had a whole thing planned to talk to Veer, but I guess I'll have to wait till next.
That
Well,
will
we can, yeah, I mean, we can talk to her now.
You will be able to talk with her. You guys have teleported. You don't know where.
Whew.
She didn't tell you
No,
where.
Yeah.
but we're probably
We're
on
going
her
to the
planet. So
It's pretty
we're
fucking
probably
cold
in-
right now.
Is it? Yeah, is it cold? We got to pull out our shit, huh? Good thing we got bags of holding.
I
That'll
know
wrap.
that they're in the mountains. That's about it.
Yeah,
Oh my
that'll wrap the
God.
session.
That was
I
awesome.
think that was a lot of fun. I intended for some combat encounters in there, but you know, you guys didn't take the bait.
Dude, I know that guy was fucking sus.
Oh man,
So
dude, I
sus.
thought
As soon
I
as I
thought
saw
I was
that thing
gonna-
on his shoulder, I was like, nah.
I was gonna be able to cap him, but that crowd was huge, dude. Like 100 people. I was like, man, there's no way. I was like, I could pit him, I could cap him. There's all these things I can do, but I better take my time and run.
You're like, he gave us 30 seconds. We're gonna use it.
Damn.
I'm gonna use every
Much
last
harder it
fucking.
would have been to have
I
a
had a
fight.
feeling
I
he
think,
was sus.
I think we pulled it off
Well,
correctly.
here's the side effect. We actually got to where we were trying to get. The whole reason we came here was to get
Yep.
a fucking
2
sigil
birds,
to
1
get
stone.
over there. Wow.
Yeah,
We don't know
It's
where we
More
got
like
there.
one teleportation circle.
yeah. You guys definitely got what you were after, even accidentally. I mean,
That sounds about like
I'm
us.
half thinking like midway through, Trix realized I remember why I hated these politics.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is so like he's just like, oh my god, like And he knew something was going on with this guy, so he started following around. And then you know what he's pissed the most about is he gave me his fucking citron and tobacco. That's what he hates the most.
He took your tobacco.
I fucking gave him tobacco, like trying to be all like pacifying. This guy's setting up a fucking murder scene.
Uh,
So the grenade, that was a signal, right? That of what would
yeah,
if
to
it had been
escalate the
green, it would have been yeah. It's red, escalate. Yeah.
like it's easy. So it's easy to sow a protest. It's harder to escalate it. You need people in there that want to escalate, such as people who are willing to
Yeah,
go after a pair of archons.
that's right.
So it was very much a signal to really start escalating.
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, I had a spell a couple of levels ago that would have been way more effective than Enthrall, but I wasn't ever using it. So it's like
Oh.
it was like a group mass calming.
Oh.
But I never used it, so I gave it up for Enthrall, thinking Enthrall would be really cool.
I think it would be. I think it's just an issue of when to use it. And that was that
Dude.
crowd. A crowd was not. It's not good for crowd control.
Well, no, I mean it was great for 1 minute, right? Like I mean that thing, everybody within 10 feet, like a 10 feet radius, right? So it's like that's a chunk of people.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, you have somebody in there that can tell what's going on. You already have people that are instigating. You shut them up for a minute. That's only a little bit of time, right? That's just enough time for us to get the paperwork signed, which was basically the goal anyway.
Get the
Yeah, I
paperwork
knew it
signed.
wasn't going to last.
Get out.
Oh man, I can't believe that happened. I thought for sure something was going to interrupt the signing of it. God, I wish I'd won that intimidation check, man. That was
Elias tried
brutal.
to interrupt.
Hello?
Oh god.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yep, we can hear you.
That was
All right.
brutal.
I got really confused because on my end, Tricks, you kept repeating the same word over and over and over again. And then my music
Which
started
one?
repeating the same word over and over and over again. I was like, wait, what just happened? Wait, I can't move my cursor. Oh no.
Oh, that's funny.
No.
And then my entire computer just fucking shut off.
Yeah, Isaiah told me before you got on. He's like, Nils, like there's going to be a moment in time where I just want you to keep repeating the same word over and over and over again.
I gotta close some tabs before this thing breaks again. Yeah, I had a whole plan with talking to Veer about the certain part that Veer mentioned, which I had to write in quotes about not wanting to fight for other countries' problems. I was like, oh, I have a whole quote set up for that. I was like, oh, I'll have to wait till next time.
So did we handle the negotiation okay? I mean, did you feel like it went pretty well?
When we got both sides of the story, yeah.
Yeah. Logan, man, you fucking killed it, dude.
Thanks.
Dude, that politics
I
shit was
feel like
confusing as fuck, which is why I didn't talk very much.
You're like, oh, right.
I just stuck to the notes.
yeah, I feel like it couldn't have gone any better, really.
Yeah.
We had sabotage. We had
Yeah.
factions that were opposed to each other. We got a consensus and an agreement.
I mean, hey,
and we got out alive.
blood wasn't spilled and a contract was made, and two groups are potentially going to do some
There's
bonding
blood spilled.
over some Mortal
There's
Kombat.
a shitload of blood spilled. Like,
No, I'm saying
that whole courtyard-
between those two in that room, I thought they were just going to fight each other in that room.
I did too.
Oh yeah, me too.
I'm talking about that kind
Yeah.
of blood.
Right off the bat.
Oh,
When
you
she brought in
thought they
that
were
pretty
gonna
blade.
when they talked about like fighting for that blade. You're like, oh, they're gonna kill each
I
other.
didn't think they were going to fight for the blade in that room. I
Right
kind
then
of
and there.
understood it was going to be like an honorable duel or brawl. No, I was worried about when they started jabbing each other with their fucking insults.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude,
I was like, someone's not going to be happy. Someone's
That was
going to snap.
brutal. She
Well,
kept
yeah,
calling him a
definitely.
child. Oh my god. Basically calling him a
Yeah,
child.
honestly though, I mean, I know our fighter didn't get to do anything really serious, but that was as much fun as some of our major combats, if not more fun.
Don't worry, I had my fun writing 2 pages full of notes about Veer and fucking Elijah.
You
Oh,
guys are like, that was such
Awesome.
an interesting verbal no, social encounter. And
ugh.
Wanderer's like, Isaiah just revealed a ton of world building to me.
Logan and I are all like, we're just like so stoked about all of it. We're like, dude, we got to use all our ability checks. Wanderer's like,
This is why I stick to the fighter.
dude, man,
Simple,
on my
effective.
next session,
By the way,
I'm gonna make
each of you guys get 700 XP for this social encounter. This was
Hell
a
yeah.
minefield of a social encounter.
I didn't realize this until 2 seconds too late. Last time you gave me inspiration, I should have used it on the
Oh, that would have
intimidation.
been good.
I mean, I was just like, oh my god, dude, I can't. It was
Oh
too
yeah.
late. Like 2 seconds was too late because the passion of it and the fact that we just trip right at the moment when we can't trip. That was just too good. It was just
Try
too
to
good
put him in the
pass
fucking timeout corner.
up. It was just too good to pass up.
Shut up,
Oh,
diplomat.
dude,
The grown-ups are talking.
oh man, I was gonna get him, dude. I was gonna take him to school.
Right, they actually told
I
him
was
that.
gonna do to him.
They had
I
no
was gonna do to
respect for
him
him
what
at
she
that
was.
table.
I knew something was going to
Oh.
happen, so actually I think I know why my fucking computer crashed. I got my voice changer ready just in case I had to do some voice breaking, like robotic voice breaking
cool.
with the voice.
Oh, nice.
I had also planned that with Veer, where every so often the voice would break into robotic, and then switch it right back to normal. I was like, I know something's gonna happen. I gotta get this shit ready. I think I had too many things open and it crashed.
Yeah, but yeah, it was pretty funny. Like their treatment of Elias the whole time. They're like sidelined him.
Everyone agrees. Fuck
Everyone
Elias.
sidelined him.
Like he's like, yeah, they'll set this trap, and then they start trading jabs. And I feel like from an NPC perspective, as soon as they started trading jabs back and forth, he went, "Oh, I'm outmatched here."
Well,
Especially
not only that,
when-
but I think he was okay. He was okay with them as long as they were fighting.
Yeah,
It was only
Yeah.
when they started to agree that he got all fucking wait for my signal.
once they started,
I was
he was
like,
fine with them fighting. As soon as they started to agree, he's like, "Oh no, they're not supposed to get along."
They're not
They're
supposed to get
they're
along.
not
They're
supposed-
supposed to
they're
kill
supposed
each
to
other,
actually
so
work.
I feel the power vacuum. What the fuck?
Right.
Oh, both of these leaders,
that
man.
was the play, wasn't it?
This is it has to be right. Like he wasn't just trying to get rid of Elijah; he was trying to get rid of her too. He was trying to make both of them into
I actually don't know if he was trying to get rid of Elijah, but he's definitely egging both of them on.
I don't know, man. So Elijah was the one that had the scry, and so, or at least
I'm actually.
he knew
I
about
think
it.
that was. I think that was Mr. Annoying Man, the one we don't like, because it came from his shoulder and then flew up.
I thought it was Elijah who knew where it was, and it was
Oh, maybe.
Elias.
I don't know.
You're
I
both
didn't
right.
think
So it
about
came
that
from
one.
Elias, but Elijah has true sight, so he knew it was there.
He has true sight.
He's like me.
Oh, that'd be so cool. He strips off his human flesh, and he's a T-46A model.
Terminator brother.
But yeah, like them trading jabs back and forth. For one, that was a lot of fun for me because I'm like, oh, I get to trade a lot of like obscure references back and forth.
It's really interesting how effective. Like you picked really good subjects. for their eternal hatred, right? So the traitor thing, it comes with such connotation.
Mm-hmm.
And then the you're a child thing again comes with this like, and you can understand where she's coming from. Like she's hundreds of years old. All of us are children,
She can kind of call anyone child.
really, but she doesn't tell people that, right? This is the queen matron, right? Like this is and she out of character. She didn't kill the queen, right? Like, but they don't know that. They're blaming her for it.
They don't
And
know
so
what
that's another,
side she was on in that fight. All they know is she
yeah.
walked
And
out.
then that's right. That she walked out and nobody else did. And so the fire that she knows that she doesn't have to explain it to them because she's like so much more all knowing. But that just makes them more inflamed is the fact that she doesn't give them anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then the traitor thing doesn't affect her because she knows the truth, but it inflames all of their opposition to her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really, really good choices of subjects.
Yeah, and you noticed Elijah never called her traitor. The only person that brought up that
he
was
called her traitor when she wasn't in the room.
He called her traitor when she wasn't in the room. I know because I quoted it.
but he never
But
said it to her
Elias-
face.
Elias, yeah, he never did it to her face.
Yeah.
The only thing he did to her face was he was jabbing her about the loss, right? The loss of her own archons.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the greatest jab, right? Is the blood of your team is on your hands.
Yeah.
There's something else going on with the Bronland.
Yeah, and they both had very much like they had a lot of ammunition to go at each other.
And each one, all each one of them needed to see was the other one just give like even an inch, right? Like they just needed to see the other one be willing.
And you notice that towards
And
the
then
end of the
and then they both
conversation
joined it.
when she mentioned like, "Hey, let's stop this," and he leaned in seriously and went, "But we know who blinked first."
Yeah. Like here's a stack of papers.
And then you guys were
Where's
like,
Franklin when you need him?
"Sign."
Fucking,
Sign now, kill each other later.
yeah, before the doors fall off of this jalopy.
We're like, we finally got them to
Yeah.
agree on something. They've stopped fighting each other for 5 seconds. Let's get some work done.
Listen, all you gotta do, give them a common enemy, bing bang boom. They're as close as thieves.
When I followed Elias out, I almost put a box on him the minute we walked out the door. Like not outside, not to smoke, but to like just so he wouldn't get
In the
outside.
hallway.
I
but
knew as soon as that man was vacating the area, something was not right.
But the archons were there, and I didn't want the document to not get signed. So I was like, I can't do it here where it could interrupt that. I was like, let's just play this out.
Yeah. You're like,
stall until you can't stall anymore.
You're like, I'm a little stuck here. I can't put it on there because it might inflame the crowd, but
Oh, I couldn't put it on outside because that would inflame the crowd. I couldn't put it on the archons because then there's nobody to stop the crowd from coming. And I couldn't put it on him inside the building in the foyer because then there's 2 archons right there that are inside ready to defend him. They're part of the gimmick. And so it's just like, oh my God, like all I have to do is give Zook enough time.
I think there was a little confusion on that. The 2 guys inside that were with him were not archons. They were just city guards.
I was confused by that.
Yeah, they were just city
I thought
watch.
they were archons. I was afraid. I was like, I could probably take one of them.
Dude.
I can't take 2 archons. I might be able to get one of them, but I'm not gonna be able to take 2. But I also, yeah, I mean, I just didn't want to stop the signing. The ruckus, the noise, it wouldn't have been.
It wouldn't have been good.
It wouldn't have been good. So
They would
it
have gone
wouldn't
back to jabbing
it
each
wouldn't have
other.
been effective. And maybe even with steel.
Yeah, the seal might have been drawn. That's never a good sign.
Dude, when she showed her blade, I was like, oh.
That was a fun session. I had a lot of fun with that.
Great session, guys.
I've written
Yeah,
down
you
my
played
quote.
the parts well.
I've written down my quote. I'll have to remember it next time.
Oh, you've got a quote from me.
Prune
That's
is
not
sweeter
good.
than the plum.
I got a quote for Veer.
Oh no, that is really not good.